Why me? Of all people, player. Why not my friends at least? Every time it's me suffering. I made resolutions. There's nothing I've achieved. I wanted to make a business. I didn't. I wanted to buy a new car and be like other people. But see, now I wanted my own house, but every time rent. I think I should come and you really explain to me why I'm suffering. Why me? I think I should come and I see you face to face, you explain to me. This one.
But, surely today I have to.
What is it?
Hey, what are you doing for you?
I'm really tired of this world. You see, last year I made resolutions. I wanted a new car. Do I have a car? Business. I got a loan now. They are taking even my land. I wanted to build a house. Where should I put it?
No, you're just touching my wound. Now you think me I don't have my problems? No. Let me show you. Let me show you very well. That you see all my resolutions. Do you see? Do you see my problem? Do you see? No. I started very well. But this code, you want this code.
You also wanted a house.
I also wanted a house. You see, I wanted a house. For all these years I have tried. I have tried my best. I tried my best. I told God, I want a job. Where did the job go? The job, I have applied. You know the worst part of it all? All my friends keep calling me. You come for wedding meetings. God. For how long? How long? Today I wanted to go. That is why I came. I said to God, I will take this. And I come up here and you explain to me. And you will explain to me why. Why? All these years, I have tried my level best. But what is wrong? This is poison. Give me my poison.
I think this is very dangerous.
Now what do you want me to use? What do you have a rope? You even have an extra one. You bring, we share.
You use this one.
No. You see, if we go together, at least I will have someone who is going to be my weakness and also is sharing my same pain. You bring, we share. Bring. How can we? Are we cast? Are we? No, are we cast? Are we Gaia? How can we bear this shame? Of all, you first put down. Honestly speak. Why?
We use that one.
That one will break. We go to this one. How do we suffer? All these years.
That one is too far.
You put, we try and you see.
Just remove this.
You're dying before you buy for us sugar at home. My school fees, I want to be a candidate. You even took the sofa set from home. Why?
No.
Why? Daddy, please, I'm going to do something.
Yeah, why do you want to kill yourself?
Life is hard. The whole year we have made resolutions. Nothing has happened. I found him also die. What do we have to live for? Why can't we just leave this world? At least we reduce on population. This is shame.
No. Do you think you're the only people who have problems in this world? No. You know I have been married for 15 years. Do I have a child? Do you know that last week I was terminated from my UN job? Do you know that my mother has been ill for 15 years with leukemia?
Do you think me losing my land because of the business I tried is something small? You guys, don't just be emotional. I want to assure you that when I received Christ, these are just small things in life. Blair, there are small things in life. But let me tell you, in Christ, that's where I found all this peace. It is not because of me as Jimmy, no. It is not. It is in Christ. This world has got issues every day and they always come. I assure you, let us stand as men. Our present suffering cannot be compared to the glory that is awaiting us. No. And let me tell you, this evening at St. Francis Chapel, the bishop, you remember Bishop David Sebuhinja is going to preach about Jesus, our peace. Let's go, guys, and attend. But this is not the time to trade our life for this. Let's be strong.
Daddy, if you die, moreover, next time I'm going to secondary.
I'm not
You
going
know,
to
buy
die.
for us sugar.
In this world, we have a list of problems, including robes for committing suicide. But cheer up. Jesus, our peace, has overcome the world. I greet you in the name of our Lord Jesus Christ with the words of peace. The peace of God be with you. We are pleased to be here, and I want to thank the chaplain and his team who invited me to come and share with you on this last Sunday of this year 2018. Thank you very much, our chaplain. We want to welcome you and to thank God for Christmas season that He has enabled us to pass through. I also want to thank you because my wife and some members of our family attended this 9 o'clock service. And as you see, and as you know, we are the youngest among you. And I want to thank God for you people, because you have contributed to our youth. Whenever you make us dance and twist our shoulders, for us it is not only an act of worship, but also we are doing exercise. According to the advice of doctors. So thank you very much. God has been helping us with a theme which we started this year with, making things new. And we have covered so many topics related to this theme. And today, our topic is a wonderful topic to close the year with and to prepare us to enter the new year. Jesus, our peace. What is peace? It is not a new word. Some of us, we name our children peace. Every Sunday, whenever we have a clergy in this chapel, they send us out to go with peace. Benediction, the peace of God which passes all understanding. They send us out with peace. So peace is a familiar word. But I have tried to look at it more closely. And I have found at least 3 meanings for this word. The first one is our popular concept that a peace is absence of war. So when there is no war, then we have peace. And this was exactly the same concept with God's people. After crossing Jordan and settling in the promised land, they had this problem of tribal wars. And whenever God raised a savior or a judge, he would save them from their enemies. Then the word of God says, then the land had peace. So there was peace in the land. So the people had peace. So that was the concept with God's people during that time of settlement. And this is exactly the same concept with our President Museveni and any RM government. Because we have no wars in Uganda, therefore Uganda is a peaceful country. For them, it is the home of refugees coming from other troubled areas, but not Uganda. Uganda is now a peaceful. So that is the similar concept, that the absence of war means peace. So that's the first concept. But also I came across another meaning, very interesting, which says that peace means freedom from fears and worries. So if you have no worry, if you have no fear, then you have peace. Then I said, this must be brought to Makerere University, especially during the time of examination, so that the students will not have fear and worries. That is the second. But there is a third meaning. The Jewish use of this word peace, for them in Hebrew, it is called shalom. So for the Jews, this word shalom has a meaning which is different from these first two meanings. For them, shalom means a total well-being and inner rest of spirit in fellowship with God. A total well-being, inner spirit, rest, and also fellowship or in relationship with God. And for them, this shalom, peace, cannot come from anybody else, but it is from God. Therefore, for them, they call God shalom. And when Moses was given words of blessing to instruct Aaron for blessing his people, he said, when he is blessing my people, he should bless them that the Lord, may the Lord's face shine upon you, everything, and may the Lord give you peace. And when Gideon, after building an altar, when God was calling him, and when he built this altar, in Judges chapter 6, verse 24, he said, he named it, the Lord is peace. The Lord is peace. So for them, shalom, or when you say peace, you are meaning this satisfaction, inner being, well-being, with especially in fellowship with God. However, Israel's history, as they walked on, as they lived on, they found out that the absence of war did not necessarily bring them peace. The absence of war did not necessarily bring them peace. It was always a short-lived peace. 1 month, 1 year, then it is over. It did not give them the total well-being, the total peace, shalom. And I think this is exactly what is happening to us in Uganda. This is what we are experiencing. Friends, the absence of war in Uganda does not mean that we are peaceful or we are free from fears and worries. And there are a lot of examples. The first one, if you have never been frustrated by traffic jam in Kampala, then you thank God. But Do you know that these days, even it is hard, sometimes to make an appointment. You make an appointment with your doctor to come and see him at 9 a.m. Then by 9:30, you are still stuck in traffic jam. And if you are not sure whether you will make it within 30 minutes, so that you are late only 1 hour. And what do? You start actually praying and wishing your doctor also to be in traffic jam, so that he does not arrive before you. And when you wish someone something which is not good, you are sinning. So that is the first, some of the problems we are facing. And not only that, yes, traffic jam, harder to fulfill appointments. What about fuel prices? We used to use only 20,000 from home to here for service. Now it is 30,000 or even more. 40, 50, something like that. You are also experiencing the same thing. Corruption in our Uganda. Selfishness. You know, here in Uganda, it is possible to have a chaplain, not you, to have a chaplain here whose wife is the head of Reite, and one of the children, the basa or nephews and whatnot, ushers, and then an uncle, the head of Reite or the chairman of the council, not because they are qualified, but because they have a connection with the appointing authority. In Uganda, it is possible to have those things. Are we peaceful? Can those give us peace? You look what is happening in this land, is it Rwanda commissioning? How can one person evict 2,000 people? What are you going to do with 2,000 acres of land when others have no even a single 1 meter? 1 meter. There are some people who do not have even 1 meter of land. And you have 2,000 acres, square miles. What are you going to do with it? But that is what is happening in our Uganda. What about diseases? What about all other problems? Diseases with limited or even medical services. We are experiencing those. So, brothers and sisters, domestic violences, divorces, school fires, child sacrifice, killings here and there, unemployment, the list can be long. All those things are there with us. So when Israel saw that absence of war was not giving them total peace, then they tried to look for other means, including peace offering. So if you read the book of Leviticus, you'll find there this institution of peace offering, trying to give peace to God so that they can have right relationship with Him and with one another. But like all other sacrificial systems which failed in Israel, peace offering did not give the people of God peace with God and with one another. They continued committing all sorts of sins. But in the midst of those problems, of committing a lot of sins, of not having fellowship with God, God in His own mercy, God in His own thinking, He said, He promised that there will be a time when I will visit my people and I will rescue them from their problems, from their enemies, and I will give them peace and rest. That is the perfect peace, which we have read about in Isaiah chapter 26. That perfect peace, that rest, which cannot come from somewhere else, but from God Himself. So He made that promise. And if you read the Old Testament, you'll find those promises. Those who were here on Christmas, we read Isaiah chapter 9, verse 6. To us a son is given, a child is given, a child is born, and they name Him. And one of the names, He will be the Prince of peace. Micah, who was a contemporary of Isaiah, he made the same prophecy. He said, this person who will come as the Prince of Peace, he will not only be the Prince of Peace, but he will be the peace of his people. So what God is promising will be fulfilled. And when it is fulfilled, that a person in whom it will be fulfilled will not only be the peace, but will be the peace of God's people. And then Zechariah chapter 9, verse 10, he spells out the mission of this man whom God will use. He says, when this man comes, when the Prince of Peace comes, then he will proclaim peace to all nations. Friends who are listening to me today, all of these promises have been fulfilled in none other than Jesus Christ, who was born in this world to be our peace. Through him, in Jesus Christ, he was born to be good news. In fact, the message of Christmas is good news to the troubled world. Good news to the troubled world. This is what we saw when we were here on Christmas. Running and sharing the good news of God. So all of these were fulfilled in Jesus Christ. He came to deliver us from the slavery of sin and to give us peace. And that is the Christmas message. And so what happened after his birth? Look, see what happened when he was born. That heavenly choir sang, to God in the highest. Glory be to God in the highest. And peace among his people. So in the highest, the glory. But among us, you and me, peace. That is Jesus Christ. So that shows that he was born to be our peace. And then his mission. What did he do? St. Paul says that when Jesus came, he came and preached the good news of peace to those who were far off and to those who were near. So as far as Jesus is concerned, as peace, that peace was for everybody, whether near or far away. He came, and that was his mission. And before he left, after doing his ministry, when he was about to go, what did he say? He said, my peace I give you. My peace I live with you. So friends, Jesus our peace. He has given us peace. He is our peace. And now presently, he is in heaven. When he went, he is there, seated at the right hand of God, as the King of Salem. When you read this epistle to Hebrews, that he is the King of Salem, and Salem means peace. So here, there in heaven, he's reigning as a King of peace, Prince of peace for us. Now, I have talked about him as our peace. But what is the source? What is the source of Jesus our peace? The source of Jesus our peace is God himself. Friends, shalom cannot come from the world. Shalom cannot come from the absence of war. Tear gas cannot give us peace. It cannot bring peace. Strikes in universities like here in Makerere cannot give us peace. Violences and divorces cannot bring peace in our homes. Let me tell you, a younger couple just picked a quarrel from misunderstanding. And you know, married life, misunderstandings, they are bound to come. But when we fail to manage them, and they become mismanageable, then they bring a lot of problems to us. But definitely, if you are married, you are bound to have some misunderstandings as a couple. So this couple picked this misunderstanding, and the man said, I must teach my wife a lesson. I must teach. I cannot be peaceful if I remain with this woman. I must teach her a lesson. And so he said, I am now going to talk to her very harshly. I'm going to be very harsh to her. I'm going to use abusive language, words to abuse her so that she can go away and live peace with me. And so when they quarreled, then the man, he strengthened his arm and make it strong enough. And with his finger. And then he pointed it out to his wife and said, you stupid woman. These ladies are very interesting. They have ready-made answers. And when he said, you stupid woman, the woman immediately said, married to a stupid man. There was no peace. Within a second, there were two stupids. Just facing each other with no peace. So violence cannot bring peace, my dear friends. It can't. And many other things which cannot bring peace. On the contrary, they bring problems. This peace, therefore, which is peace of mind, shalom, satisfaction, and right relationships with one another and with God. This peace cannot come from somewhere else, but only from God himself. It is only God himself who can give us peace. And then you feel peace and satisfaction in your heart. Friends, this peace is a free gift which Jesus gave and still gives to us, his disciples. My peace I give you. My peace I live with you, as we have heard. So Jesus, our peace is real and present. He's going back to the Father. For those who are in the first service, we read that gospel. He's going back to the Father. Was not a disappointment to his disciples, but for their well-being. He went for their well-being. Listen, I have told you all of these things. That is Jesus' own words, including my departure back to my Father. I have told you all of those things. But I have told all of these things so that in me you may have peace. So when he went for our well-being. He went so that we may have peace. Today, friends, this message is mine and is also yours. Jesus is offering himself to us. And anyone who would receive him, he would receive peace. Receiving Jesus is the same as receiving peace. Jesus and peace are inseparable. Have Jesus, have peace. Have peace, have Jesus. And what are the results? When you receive Jesus Christ and he becomes our peace, what are you going to gain? What is your benefit? The first thing, my dear friends, let me tell you that the worst result of any broken relationship, if you have ever experienced any broken relationship, the worst result of it is loss of peace. You lose peace with your wife. Will you talk with her? Even you may not even walk together because you have lost peace. The worst result is loss of peace. And this is exactly what happened when Adam actually sinned. When he fell, what happened? Fear and hiding replaced the relationship with God. His relationship with God was broken, and it was replaced by fear and hiding. And what about his relationship with his wife? You see, previously he had made a very wonderful speech. When Eve was brought to him, he said, this is the bone of my bones, flesh of my flesh. But now, that woman, the flesh of my flesh becomes that woman, as if God had made a mistake to give him a wife. Why? Because the peace had gone away. And that is what happens. So, when you have misunderstanding, the peace has gone, you don't talk, you can even start blaming one another. Even you can blame the go-between, the one who was your go-between. we have the word in Rufumbira Ishano. I don't know about other languages. She becomes something which is abominable. And we start blaming other people. So friends, you start cursing one another. You start regretting. Did you see? In the skit. Why am I in this world? So my dear friends, that is what happens. But the good news today, in Jesus, we are no longer separated from God. The first result we get is that in Jesus Christ, our peace, we are no longer separated from God by sin. Jesus, our peace, has dealt with that on the cross. So we have been justified by faith in Jesus Christ. And because of that, then St. Paul boldly says, we have peace with God. Romans chapter 5, verse 1. We have a peaceful state of mind, whose sins have been forgiven by God. And there is no situation in which Jesus, our peace, cannot reach. Even when you are about to take poison, even when you are tightening the rope to commit suicide, Jesus is able to find you there and to say, my son, I am your peace. Feel at peace. Feel at home. I am your peace. I am here. Why should you die? I died for you. Why should you commit suicide? What are you going to gain? I am your peace. Feel at home. My child, feel at home. So that is the first result. The second result, friends, as I have already said, we are separated from one another, from our families. The sin can do it very quickly for us. You can become stupid facing one another. But with Jesus, he says, in him, we are reconciled to one another. We are no longer Gentiles to one another, because we belong to one Lord, the Prince of Peace. In Jesus Christ, friends, in him, we are one family. In him, we are one nation. In him, we are one new society. In him, we are St. Franciscans. Under this room, if someone comes here, it will take him time to show those who are from there, from the north, those from the west. Here in this room, we are one. We are all Saint Franciscans, children of God. So we are a very good example. In Jesus Christ, that is what we are supposed to be. To be one new nation, one new family. And then the third point, the third benefit we get is that we become peacemakers. Jesus said, blessed are the peacemakers, for they will see God. So friends, once you have Jesus Christ as your peace, then you become peacemaker. And again, this is a challenge to us with St. Franciscans. You have these service books which we use every Sunday. The prayer of St. Francis on the first page says, Lord, make me an instrument of your peace. I don't know where you will go, you people. We say this in our book. And as Ugandans also, we have another challenge. Our leaders, when they are composing this, our national anthem, which we sing on important days and dates, and when the president is with us, we sing this national anthem. And the second stanza, the last verse, the last line of the second stanza says, in friendship and in peace we will live. So when you see a tear gas and other things here, when you see these things happening, and then you sing this national anthem, sometimes I become very disappointed. Where is our peace? In peace and a friendship we will live. Are we living in that peace? That is a challenge which I'm coming to. Friends, this is a challenge to me, and it is a challenge to you. Why? Because we cannot be instruments of peace unless we have Jesus Christ as our peace. The question is Jesus our peace? Is Jesus our peace? If not, who is our peace? Is it wealth, a lot of money, a lot of land, a lot of things? King Solomon, the Bible describes it. Our chaplain mentioned him when we were here on Christmas Day. King Solomon. The Bible says that there is nobody before him and after him who has ever been rich or wise than Solomon on this planet. And of course, a man who had 1,000 wives, don't you think that he was rich? 1,700 officials and 300 concubines. He was rich. But what does he say? In his book of Ecclesiastes, all is vanity. It is running after wind. All is vanity. All is nothing. 1,000 women. I don't know how peaceful he was. Is your job your peace? Do you find peace in your job? What about expensive car? What about family? What about addiction? There are some people who are addicted to drugs, to women, to men. They say without drugs they cannot sleep. Who told you? In fact, you sleep when you are with Jesus. But these drugs, even if you think that you cannot sleep without them, when you wake up, you will tell me where you go. So, dear friends, violence, as I have told you, cannot bring peace. Crime prevent us. They cannot. Security, they can't. Who is your peace? To me, it is only Jesus, our peace, who can give us peace. Augustine once said, he was one of the early church fathers, he said, my heart is restless until it finds rest in Jesus, our peace. So our hearts remain restless until they find rest in Jesus Christ. Will you receive Jesus Christ today, friend? So that he becomes your peace. And then you will have something to give. I appeal to you today to receive Jesus Christ as your peace. And then you will walk with peace. And then you will have something to give to others. You will be an instrument of peace, with Jesus Christ being peace in your heart. But lastly, let me tell you, friends, that the fact that Jesus is our peace and the fact that he is present with us does not mean that we, you and I, his disciples, will have no problems to disturb us or even to take away our peace. The skit, or the list of those things are the problems which we are trying to take away his peace. And this applies to me. It applies to all of you that in this world we have problems. And Jesus warns us, himself, he says, in this world you have problems. In this world you have tribulations. But be of cheer, cheer up, for I have overcome the world. Let me tell you, friends, in this world, our Lord Jesus Christ, the Prince of Peace, in this world, he suffered. In this world, he was rejected. If you have ever been rejected, our Lord Jesus Christ was rejected in this world. In this world, our Lord, the giver of everything, was hungry and thirsty. In this world, people rejected him. People abused him. People whipped him. People spat their things, all their things on him. In this world, Jesus was humiliated. He was hated by people. They were jealous of him. Have you ever met that problem of people having jealous of you? Have you missed a promotion because people are jealous of you? Have you been mistreated because people do not want, people hate you? In this world, our Lord Jesus Christ was tempted by the devil. So there's nothing which we meet in this world that our Lord Jesus Christ did not meet. But none of all these evils which took away his peace, even on the cross, he held his peace when he said, Father, forgive them, for they do not know what they are doing. He conquered all of these. He conquered all of these evils. And where is he now? He's enjoying the eternal peace, the perfect peace with his Father. Yes, my dear friends who are listening to me, who are sharing this message, some problems will come. Broken relationships will come. Poverty will come. Retakes for you who are students may come. Lack of fees, university tuition will come. Meals. You may fail to get meals. Know that the university is no longer giving you meals. You look for meals by yourself. Meals may fail. You may fail to get. And many other harder situations. But friends, there is, listen to me, there is a possibility of experiencing the peace in the face of all of these problems. There is that a possibility of experiencing peace, even when you are in those problems. Why? Because in Jesus Christ, the word says, in Jesus Christ, we are more than conquerors. No, if you are more than a conqueror, what else do you need? But you are more than a conqueror in Jesus Christ. And the same word says that nothing at all, which will be able to separate us from the love of God in Jesus Christ, our peace. Nothing. So friends, let me remind you that the problems of this world are not beyond than God's peace for us. 2010, my wife and I went to Luzira prison. We had never been there before. And Luzira, of course, as you know, it is known to be the place of prisoners. That is all what we knew about it. So when we arrived there, the chaplain told me that, Bishop, there is a section of this prison which is known as upper prison, where the condemned are kept. Those are not allowed to come to attend with us as the service. But I have requested the OC, and luckily enough, he has allowed me that you go there. He said, now that you're a bishop, you can go there and visit these people who are condemned. And when he told me, people who are condemned, waiting for the president to sign their death warrant, what shall I tell? What shall I say to these people? Shall I pray for them to face death courageously? Shall I tell them, but you see, this is what a sin can do. You are here because of that. Shall I encourage them to face death very courageously? What message am I going to teach? But of course, because he had already made an appointment for me, I had to go. So we went. We passed one door, the second one, the third one. And the further we went, the darker it became. It was becoming darker. I started doubting whether I will be back. So, shall we go back? And I wished I were on alone. But even with my wife, this place, dark as it is, finally we arrived there. When we arrived in that room, my dear friends, what we saw there, you would think that it was the sun, the light was coming directly from the sun. Very bright inside there. We find there a group of people singing. And they were putting on white uniform, trousers, and shirts with no collars, but as white as snow. In fact, those people who were here on 16th, and you saw how pioneers were dressing here on was it 16th this month, as white as snow. Those people were very, very smart in their white uniform, singing, having all musical instruments. These things from West Nile, which they do like this. They were just playing them. They had a senior church warden, the head of the IT. They had ushers, and they gave a speech. They sang. I could not help myself. I cried. Hey, these people, what am I going to talk to them? I was challenged. Then the voice came to me. Now, up to now, you don't have any message for these people? I said, Lord, forgive. I now have a message. And what is the message? Romans chapter 8, verse 1. What does it say? Therefore, there is no condemnation for those who are in Jesus Christ. Hallelujah. You people, you are here. You are singing. You are doing all those things simply because your face are shining, because you have Jesus Christ. I have heard your testimonies. I have seen your appearance. Therefore, there is no condemnation for you because you are in Jesus Christ. Yeah, you can be condemned there, but in Jesus Christ, there is no condemnation for those who are in Jesus Christ. I was preaching in English. I had two interpreters, one in Uganda, another one in Swahili. It was like a day of Pentecost. Brothers and sisters, that is a testimony which I saw physically, that when you have Jesus Christ, there is no condemnation. When you have Jesus Christ, you have peace, even when you are on death row. Even when you are waiting for the president to sign your death warrant. When you have peace, when you have Jesus. This is that. Have you ever gone to see people who are sick in hospitals? For us who go to visit people, and when you find that this sick person As Jesus, you don't labor with what to say. You don't labor with what to say. The face itself will tell you what to do. So friends, these are prisoners. What about me, David Sebuhinja? Some of you know me. You know what happened to us. 6 years seated in my house. 1 year I was prohibited from going to attend services like this one. Every Sunday I would just sit in my sitting room and just read the Bible. And sometimes they put on radio, Rwanda, because we speak the same language with Rwanda, and they used to put their Sunday services. Then my wife and I would attend from the radio for the whole year. But in the midst of those 6 years, without anything, I was the assistant secretary. Let me tell you, one of those people who are jealous of me, because I was the assistant secretary and I had a small Suzuki car, and when they removed me from the office, that was the first thing they took from me, and then they said that you start walking. And what disappointed me, they sent me a person to bring me a message. Take this message to him. Tell him not to be worried. We are fundraising some money to buy him a bicycle. I have never seen it up to this day, but I have a Suzuki. I have never seen that bicycle up to date. But that is humiliating language. It happened to me. But in the midst of those years, the Lord said, stand still, stand and be, understand, stand still, and be still. The Lord, and then wait upon the Lord's action. We had a peace. Of course, we had problems. We suffered. We were angry sometimes. You meet those people, they just abuse me in my face, just looking at them. Those were very, very bad years. But in spite of all those problems, we remained with Christ as our peace. And I said, wait, you will see my peace. And now, I'm having that peace. I can share with the community of St. Francis that peace. Yes, problems. But let me tell you, in Christ, there is peace. So now, brothers and sisters, in this world we have those problems, but we are not of this world. We are not of this world. We are just pilgrims. We are pilgrims marching towards our eternal peace, where our Lord Jesus Christ went before. And he says, I'm going to prepare a place for you. He's preparing that place in his eternal peace, so that where he is, you and I, we will just march majestically, and we will arrive there, and there we will be in eternal peace. In this peace, with Jesus Christ, let me tell you, then this peace, which is awaiting for us, it is far better than anything else you can think of. St. Paul says it transcends all the sufferings found in this world. The peace where there will be no more pain, no more suffering, no more worries, no more jealousies, no more fightings in that heavenly place. Friends, this is the peace that St. Paul wishes the Philippian church. We have read about it, Philippians chapter 4. The peace I wish each one of you today, as we end this year of 2018, and as we eagerly waiting for this coming new year of 2019, may this peace of Jesus Christ be with you, my brothers and sisters, now and always. May this peace which we have in Jesus Christ be your position. May this peace, which is greater than we can understand, remain with us as we end this year and approach the new year. Now to Jesus Christ, our peace, be all the glory, honor, and power, now and forevermore.